Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse, and in today's segment we're going to talk about the state of our union, one of our State of the Union updates. And I'm chilling out here on the back porch. It is a crisp fall morning here. It's like 55 degrees maybe. So I looked outside and I thought, oh, perfect day to sit out on the back porch and drink my cup of coffee to wake up. Actually, this is cup number 2, which is not nearly as strong as it needs to be, but that's okay. And we're going to sit here and we're going to talk. I'm going to talk about the State of the Union and the state of our country. I actually get this question a lot. When folks will come to class, we always do the student dinner afterwards. The students come out to eat dinner with me. It's cool because, yeah, you get to bond and talk. You get to talk about stuff that's not necessarily medical prep related. Just, you know, they'll ask me questions about, so what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And quite regularly it'll be, so what do you really think is the state of affairs, you know, for the country right now? Right now, I think we're at a transition point. Arguably, we've been in a transition point for a while, but there's a few things that are really starting to, I think, kick up in their intensity, to ramp up in their intensity. There have been different job numbers that have come out lately, but when it comes right down to it, even though Americans may technically be reasonably employed as a percentage, the word on the street, like when you actually talk to people, like, hey, I mean, how many people do you know who are unemployed or underemployed? It's like if they have a job, it's an overqualified person going and, you know, working a job that 10, 15 years ago would only be worked by students, right? Students are people just getting traction in the workforce, right? So on one hand, I think the numbers are good in the sense that, you know, people are employed technically, but they're underemployed in many cases. And I think that this leads to a couple of different national feelings to set in. One is certainly disappointment. And on the heels of that, for those of you who haven't been paying attention, heroin addiction is insane in this country right now. The rates of heroin addiction. I've been looking at multiple different articles, scholarly articles from medical journals and also from the news media these past few weeks. And heroin addiction is a serious problem. And the thing is, I don't think that we can strictly blame it on straight-up junkie behavior. I don't think that we can blame it on overprescription of opiate pain medication and people getting hooked on it post-surgery or post-injury. I don't think it's that. I think that's part of it. The thing is, you know, opiates are, they're a feel-good drug. And, you know, our bodies naturally produce these things. But I think one of the things that we're seeing here in the midst of the heroin addiction and the pain pill addiction epidemic in our country right now, people are depressed. People are depressed, and they're looking to self-medicate with what's easy in many cases. And you got to ask yourself, you know, the question: what about the people in my age group? You know, the 20 to 40 somethings, right? In many cases, I'm not saying like we're helpless victims here, but we were sold this idea that everybody needs to go to college. So you go to college and you get a degree, and your degree, your piece of paper, will guarantee your successfulness and your ability to live a certain lifestyle in this country. And that has not happened for a great many people, or if it has happened, it's been taken away. So there's this sort of undertow of restlessness, feeling lied to, feeling betrayed, feeling very disenfranchised, disappointed, and disaffected. And the reason why that kind of concerns me is that aggregate, like that lump of people dough, if you will, that lump of people dough, if given the right circumstances, if given the right environment, will very, very easily rise into a populace that can be quite effectively harnessed and channeled by a dramatic leader. Anybody know what I'm referring to here? Adolf Hitler in Nazi Germany. You have to understand a brief history of the German people prior to the Second World War. There was a great amount, well, first off, there's a great amount of economic instability with the Weimar Republic. Okay? You know, losing World War I did not help. It was a blow to the national psyche. Germans were feeling let down, disenfranchised, disaffected, lacking in national pride. And so here comes this leader who was able to galvanize the masses, by the way, using new and very effective methods of mind control that were scientifically driven. He was able to galvanize the masses and cajole the people into a program that perhaps they would not have agreed on had they been more financially stable. Because this is the thing, it's not just about how much money people have, it's about the dignity that comes with it. Because if a man has dignity, then you're much less likely to cajole him, to push him into doing things that morally he has qualms about, right? Because there's the dignity principle in him that says, I will not act this way because I'm better than that. Well, if you take dignity away from people, in the form of taking away their houses, taking away their credit scores, they're basically just beating people down. Their sense of dignity is eroded. And if their sense of dignity is eroded, what becomes their moral standard if they don't have an objective moral standard anymore, right? People do. I asked my mom this the other day. And my mom's a pretty brilliant woman, actually. I'd like to think that I came by it, honestly. I'm kidding. But I was asking my mom this about a particular situation where a person behaved pretty treacherously toward me. She goes, honey, bottom line, people do what they want to do. You can try and blame it on their circumstances. You can try and blame it on addictions. You can blame it on a whole bunch of different things. But people do what they want to do. And they do. How much more so when they feel like they have fallen from what was promised to them. And this is the thing that concerns me very much in where we are at within the fabric of time, within the fabric of history within our country. I feel like we're at a crossroads. The next few years will be very telling, I think. We, through financial means, we have stripped dignity away from people, but also let us not underestimate the power of the interwebs. The internet is marvelous in many different ways. It's marvelous, right? Because now we have unlimited information, access to information at our fingertips, which is great. It's unprecedented in history. There's never been anything as marvelous as the internet for allowing universal access to information for people, right? I think really when it comes right down to it, it's Gutenberg 2.0. It's the printing press 2.0. However, because talk is cheap, and because people are cheap now, and everybody has an opinion, and everybody can put it up on the internet, in many cases it takes dignity away from people. They are no longer expected to operate with accountability. Because of this, it is much more easy for us to treat people reprehensibly, and treat them rudely, treat them downright terribly online, because there's no accountability for it. The day of reckoning is soon upon us, I think, with this behavior. I'm already seeing it personally myself. I see it a lot when I'm driving. People are becoming more reckless and unkind, uncaring with their fellow man now, because we have so many, I would submit, we have so many layers of technology in between us. Again, this is another point on taking dignity away from people. So when you have the combination of people feeling that like they have no hope, no economic fortune to look forward to, the promise of dreams has been revoked, and systematically the dignity of the American worker, the American person, has been removed. It is very ripe, very, very ripe for violent revolution. And those words, I think, are very mystical in the minds of people in this community. Do not ask for violent revolution, folks. That is not something to look forward to at all. The peaceful redressment of grievances is our best bet. People who sit there advocating and wanting violence to happen in this country, that's not patriotic. It's brutal. Because who, when it comes right down to it, who suffers from this? People who are vulnerable already. Look at the storekeepers in Ferguson. These people whose only crime was to build their business in a place that potentially was a flashpoint. Okay? We're ripe right now. So for me, the way that I'm going to be focusing on making the situation better is to continue with my preps, to continue building up my skill sets in different areas, to continue with my training, weapons training, but really to continue refining my character. And that's something that I would encourage us all to do. Your character is arguably one thing that is portable and cannot be taken away from you. If you conduct yourself with dignity, even when it doesn't seem to matter to you, even if you're the only person who is watching you, you still know. Refine our moral character. I think that's one of the best things that we can do to prepare us for the times ahead, because I tell you guys, history is replete with examples of people who compromised on their morals, much to their own detriment and to their later regret. Good morning. Happy Monday. Those are just my thoughts for today on the State of the Union. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today. If you did enjoy the video today, please subscribe to me, like me on Facebook, and follow me on Twitter. Also, check out the website for the full list of the 2015 Medical Prep 101 and 201 classes. We got it all the way through October listed. There's some excellent places, so check it all out at the website, thepatriotnurse.com. I hope it was helpful for y'all, and for now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off. I'll see you guys later. Bye.